generation. You think you live as you choose. Oh, you beat generation. I think you headed for the blues. Now your lives don't have a meaning, though you're living up a storm. You do anything at all except conform. You don't have much ambition and aimless and depressed. You think you're really with it, but you're missing all the best. You beat generation. You think you live as you choose. Oh, you beat generation. I think you headed for the blues. It's too bad you went into the blues.
The scene opens in a dimly lit, smoky coffee house, populated by pale, gaunt figures in black turtlenecks, goatees, and barrettes. The sound of bongo drums droning in the background, keeping the beat as the lone figure on stage hisses a poem of revolution and woe. You're one cool cat, Daddy-O. This is the scene many of us think of when we hear the word beatnik or bohemian, or when we refer to coffee house poetry. These are the prominent images of the beatnik stereotype. However, as it seems to be with all stereotypes, the image is incorrect, and the generation that gave birth to this stereotype is sadly misunderstood. To understand the reality of the counterculture, we must first try to define and identify its creators, a task which is often difficult when speaking of social movements. What is bohemian exactly? Bohemianism is the practice of an unconventional lifestyle, often in the company of like-minded people, with few permanent ties involving musical, artistic, or literary pursuits. In this context, bohemians may be wanderers, adventurers, or vagabonds. This use of the word bohemian first appeared in the English language in the 19th century to describe the non-traditional lifestyles of marginalized and impoverished artists, writers, journalists, musicians, and actors in major European cities. Bohemians were associated with unorthodox or anti-establishment, political or social viewpoints, which were expressed through free love, frugality, and in some cases, voluntary poverty. The Beat Generation was born out of post-World War II disillusionment and restlessness. They were a generation of young people struggling to come to terms with the chaos and uncertainties that were part of their upbringing. Their movement, if it can accurately be called that, manifested itself in literature and poetry, which threw off the traditional classical format to become a character in and of itself. The Beats attempted to express themselves in a way that was extremely personal and extremely in your face. They addressed issues that were taboo at the time, most notably alternative lifestyles and drug use, writing largely for and to each other, sharing life experiences, and crying out against an establishment that harbored little space for individuality and protest. The term beat is used in much of the same fashion that is commonly used today, as in the terms beaten down or I'm totally beat. The connection here is one of disappointment, defeat, disillusionment, and resignation. The phrase beat generation was meant to echo Ernest Hemingway's description of his own crowd, which came of age during the First World War as the Lost Generation. The program Spit Show will cover these same issues, but from the Generation Millennium point of view. The artist will spit the pros and cons of being black in America, love and relationships the Millennium's way, being shot by the police while unarmed, the respect of the office of presidency under Barack Obama. Why should they educate us when we can educate ourselves? Why is Instagram like so important than life itself? Why is my sister playing the baby daddy lottery? Should he get the job because he's lighter than me? How much air and water the planet has left? But we have oil. Who and what is the elite 10%? I would like to thank you for participating in this presentation. And if you take on this task, it will be beneficial for more than just our community, but the nation.
Representing the city of Philadelphia. Please give it up for Black Ice.
What happens in neighborhoods where the self-esteem has been overshadowed by the decay and the children no longer play the way they used to? Where young boys choose to follow figures that had no father figures, a place where lives have been reduced to mere names on a nigga wall. A lot of dead shames on a nigga wall because most of my childhood friends died over some dumb shit. It's like we all on some slum shit. Whatever happened to that we shall overcome shit. Nigga, where I'm from shit, they done tore down the projects and took away neighborhood sports. It's a place where little black boys put on jerseys and shorts, dream big about stardom on fine hardwood courts, but awake to the harsh reality of the stripped, unfinished inner city floor where life splinters. Cold winters are sheltered by crack houses instead of recreational centers that they claim to not have the paper to keep open for operation. The deconstruction of the black family has been in perpetuation ever since Willie Lynch set his theory in motion. Decharacterization was his sole promotion. Therefore, if you take the basketball out of his face and put the coke in his place, he'll still score. What's a young boy to do when he doesn't want to do wrong, but there's a lock on the right door? When he has the heart of a soldier, the aggression of a prize fighter, but no one's taught him what to fight for. See, most of our families are fatherless and quite poor, so we miss out on meals as well as kisses and hugs. You've got the audacity to cut the funding for the facilities that keep us off the streets, then ask us why we sell drugs. But imagine if niggas put down their dice and guns, picked up their daughters and sons, and put a little love right there where the hate is. Imagine if niggas had the chance to become accountants before being taught what the difference between wet and dry weight is. Imagine if these little inner city kids had the same type of schools that these rich kids have way out there in the sticks. Imagine if niggas had the chance to learn chemistry for real before we learned how to whip 7.5 out of 6. Imagine if these little black girls could go to that dance school for free and learn to love the dream of that Broadway show. Imagine if she wasn't forced into a game where you assume a filthy name and put your soul and your ass up for show. Imagine if she was taught to love herself, imitate no one, demand and demonstrate respect when she walks through the door. Imagine if she watched the telly and saw herself during the primetime hour instead of the 4 o'clock video whore. Imagine.
Very, very pleased to have her here with a selection from her book, Tears for Water. Please give a warm Deaf Poetry welcome to Miss Alicia Keys.
I'm a prisoner of words unsaid. Just lonely feelings locked away in my head. I trap myself further every time I stay quiet. I should start to speak, but I stop and stay silent. And now I've made my own hard bed inside this prison of words unsaid. POW, that's what I am. Not a prisoner of war, a prisoner of words. Mostly I say what you want to hear. Could you take it if I came clear, or would you rather just see me stoned on a drug of complacency and compromise? MIA, guess that's what I am. Scraping this cold, hard earth for a piece of myself, for peace in myself. It'd be easier if you just put me in jail, you know. If you locked me away, I'd have someone to blame. But these bars of steel are of my making. They surround my mind and have me shaking. My hands are cuffed behind my back. I'm a prisoner of the worst kind, in fact. I'm a prisoner of compromise, a prisoner of compassion, a prisoner of kindness, a prisoner of expectation, a prisoner of my youth. Run too fast to be old. I've forgotten what I was told. Ain't eyesight to behold. A prisoner of age, dying to be young. To my head is my hand with a gun, and it's cold and it's hard, because there's nowhere to run where you've caged yourself by holding your tongue. I'm a prisoner of words unsaid. Just lonely feelings locked away in my head. It's like solitary confinement. Every time I stay quiet, I should start to speak, but I stop and stay silent. And now I've made my own hard bed inside this prison of words unsaid.
Give it up for Alicia Keys. From Chicago, Illinois, please give it up for the future of hip-hop, Kanye West.
There's more. I spent a lot of time like trying to like pick out my outfit because I'm like really into clothes. I'm gonna be the best dressed rapper out in the game. So, you know, I got my, I don't, what, I'm so self-conscious. That's why you always see me with at least one of my watches. Rollies and Porsches then drove me crazy. I can't even pronounce nothing. Pass that for Stacy. Then I spent $400 on this, just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on this. And I can't even go to the grocery store without some shoes that's clean and a shirt with a team. It seems we live in the American dream, but the who highs up got the lowest self-esteem. The prettiest people do the ugliest things. For the road to riches and diamond rings. We shine because they hate us, floss because they degrade us. We trying to buy back our 40 acres. And for that paper, look how low we a stoop. Even when I'm in my Benz, I'm still a nigga in a coupe. I promise. She's so self-conscious. She has no idea what she doing in college. That major that she majored in don't make no money. Told me she majored in TV. But she won't drop out. Her parents will look at her funny. Nah, tell me that ain't insecure. The concept of school seems so secure. Sophomore 3 years, ain't picked a career. She said, fuck it, I'll just stay down here and do hair, cause that's enough money to buy her a few pairs of new airs, cause her baby daddy don't really care. She's so precious with the peer pressure. Couldn't afford a car, so she named her daughter Alexis. She had hair so long that it looked like weave. Then she cut it all off, now she looked like Eve. And she be dealing with some issues that you can't believe. Single black female addicted to retail. I said, fuck the police, that's how I treat them. We bought our way out of jail, but we can't buy freedom. See, we buy a lot of clothes, but we don't really need them. Things we buy to cover up what's inside. Cause they made us hate ourselves and love their wealth. That's why shorty's hollering, where the ballers at? Drug dealer buy Jordan, crack kid buy crack, and the white man get paid off for all of that.